Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast today. So before we get started, I have a few announcements to make. My documentary, Beyond Sight, A Journey into Visual Healing, is available for streaming. This very powerful film shares patient stories, therapist testimonials, the science behind vision therapy. If you want to explore vision through a holistic lens, I highly recommend streaming this. You can do so on my website, drsamberne.com, also on my membership site. And my new book, Beyond the Lens, the AI Visionary Playbook for entrepreneurs and business leaders, is on Amazon. Whether you're in health, wellness, or innovation, this is your practical guide to becoming an AI-powered visionary. I have 2 online seminars starting in August. The first is called Vision Reboot, and this starts August 13th. It runs for 6 weeks. You'll learn about some of my most favorite and effective vision therapy exercises, healing techniques, all with the upgrade of improving your vision. And a bonus, if you're one of the first 10 signing up, will include a 30-minute free consultation included in the tuition with me. And on August 28th, I'm starting a parents online workshop. This is 4 weeks. So parents, if you've got a child that's struggling in school with a vision-related learning problem, kids on the spectrum disorder, kids with strabismus, amblyopia, this course is for you. I'm going to be sharing physical therapy exercises, nutritional tips, and you'll learn some of the things that I shared in the documentary, but we'll be taking a deeper dive, especially in the area of the postural reflexes, primitive reflexes, vestibular therapies, and more. So to sign up, you can go to my website, drsamberne.com. Okay, let's move to the show today. So I've received a number of questions from patients about having calcium deposits in their eyes. This is actually called ocular opacification of calcium. I'm calling this ocular calcification, and here are the symptoms. If we find moderate to high levels of calcium in the cornea, the diagnosis is called band keratopathy. Remember, the cornea is the clear window of the eye, made up of mostly collagen and water. Symptoms include dry eye, feeling like something's in your eye, like we call sand in the eye or a foreign body sensation, blurred vision, halos around lights, glare, and a white or gray line that's running through the cornea. Causes can be chronic inflammation. If you have the eye condition called uveitis, that's one of the diseases that can occur with calcium deposits, but it can also be systemic inflammation, too much calcium in the blood, kidney disease. Another cause is long-term use of eye drops with preservatives and a hyperparathyroid. Now, more in the back of the eye, we can find calcium both in the retina and the choroid, which surrounds the retina. It's more of the protective part of the eye. And we can see things like benign tumors in the choroid, or drusen, which are fatty deposits that are found in the retina. We can see things like wavy vision, visual field defects, loss of central vision. So conditions like age-related macular degeneration, discovering tumors in the choroid, and metabolic disorders are part of the things that happen when there's calcium deposits in the choroid or the retina. Sometimes we can find calcium plaques in the sclera, which is the white part of the eye. And some of the systemic clues in terms of symptoms would be a dry mouth, dry eyes, possible autoimmune disease. There's a condition called Sjogren's. I've done a podcast on that. Chronic muscle cramps and kidney disease. So how do you diagnose this condition? Well, through eye exams, blood work, fluorescein analysis, imaging, and even a hair mineral analysis. So in a hair mineral analysis, we cut some hair from the nape of the neck and we send it off to the lab, and we get many trace mineral ratios. One of the ones we get is calcium magnesium, that ratio. And if there's a lot of calcium that shows up in the hair, we call this a calcium shell. And what's happening is the calcium that's supposed to be absorbed into the bones gets pushed out into the soft tissue area of the body. That's why we call it a calcium shell. And one of the places that it will deposit is in the skin and also the eyes. I often will see a correlation if we get that calcium shell that the adrenals are overworking, We're under a lot of stress, our sympathetic nervous system is overworking, and this is what creates the calcium shell. Now, there's several ways that eye doctors can diagnose this condition. One is using the microscope called a slit lamp, where we can magnify and look at the tissues to see if there's any calcium deposits. We can also take retinal photography and do a test called an optical coherence topography. Some doctors will use an ultrasound B scan and an orbital CAT scan. If you're going to do a blood test, I would recommend a serum calcium test, a test that analyzes the parathyroid, check phosphate and vitamin D levels, and check ACE levels and sarcoid markers. Before I give a holistic protocol, I want to do a disclaimer that this is just educational only, and I would recommend working with your doctor. Okay, here we go. The first thing I would recommend in a holistic protocol, magnesium helps direct calcium back to the bones, and it moves it away from the soft tissue accumulation that I referred to a few minutes ago. I would start with 200 milligrams twice a day. I would take a vitamin D3 K2 combination. K2 can help prevent arterial accumulation of calcium, and K2 also helps reduce the soft tissue buildup. And D3 helps in the absorption of calcium. I would recommend 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day of the D3 K2, and I would do it while you're eating some healthy fats. This will help you absorb the supplement better. Phase 2 would be to take a supplement that combines boswellia with turmeric curcumin. And I'd make a formulation either using eyebright, chamomile, red raspberry leaf tea as a compress on the eyes. Use 1 teaspoon of one of those herbs in an 8-ounce glass of water. Make it into a tea, let it cool, strain it into a liquid, put it into an eye cup, and then you can put it on the eyes. Do not use if you've had recent eye surgery or if you have a bacterial infection in the eye. And hydrate. Drink 6 to 8 glasses a day of water. It could be hydrogen water, Kangen water, structured water. This helps detoxify and cleanses the cells. You could also add a high quality electrolyte drink. This will help you absorb your trace minerals better. Stimulate your lymphatic system either through craniosacral therapy, doing my palm hum exercise, and consider castor oil packs over the liver for 1 to 2 weeks. Remember, the liver rules the eyes in Chinese medicine, and it helps detox the eye, especially if the liver is working better. Nutrition-wise, you want to have your kale, parsley, and nettles, which are high in magnesium. Organic dehydrated nuts and seeds. This includes pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and chia seeds. And make sure to eat some fatty fish. This could be sardines, mackerel. Again, the DHA in these omega-3s help repair the retina. And you could do a zeolite, cilantro, or chlorella, which helps boost your detoxification pathways. I also recommend red light therapy. Dr. Jeffrey's study on red light showed that it can actually reduce drusen in the eye. Obviously, red light improves the mitochondria function in the eye. And this is most important, stress reduction. So doing things like my palm hum or my somatic exercises are really important to help you move away from that sympathetic overdrive, which is one of the biggest contributing factors to this calcium shell, calcium being absorbed in the soft tissue. And I would give it about 3 to 6 months. You can get retested, keep going to your eye doctor to have them look at the eye. But these are the things that you can do to help reduce the calcification that can occur in your eyes. So if you've got more questions, feel free to send me an email, hello@drsamberne.com. That's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, take care.